All right, so I got something pretty cool here that I want to share with everybody. It's an ALLPOWERS portable backup power unit, solar generator, whatever you want to call it. I'm loving it. This is the R600 ALLPOWERS solar generator. They sent it to me. I'm going to be honest right up front. Paid promotion. They sent it to me to review, to talk to you guys about, to share. Certainly I'll give my honest opinion on that, and so far I actually kind of love it. Honestly, I'll be honest on that. Follow the channel. I built my own solar power backup power system for the house. I got a bank of panels, bank of batteries. I got outlets coming in the house. I just built a little solar power system on my turkey coop. Panels, battery charge controller, inverter, that whole thing. So I was a little leery at first, like, okay, I'll go to the dark side, I'll try an all-in-one unit, and I love this thing. Honestly, the weight is the first thing I noticed. I think it says 12.34 pounds, not heavy at all, which means it's going to be super portable. This has a 600 watt pure sine wave inverter with a 1200 watt surge, so 600 watts. We'll jump into some ideas around what you can do with 600 watts. I know that's always a question when I'm talking to people about solar. I got somebody right now asking me how do I build my own solar setup. So what do you get with 600 watts? So we'll jump into that, but I want to talk about this first. So 600 watt inverter in here. It has a 299 watt hour capacity. So if that's the battery's 100%, you got 299 watt hours to work with. And the way watt hours work is you could do 299 watt hours for 1 hour. You could do, I'm going to round it up to 300, right? Or you could do 598 for 30 minutes. You could do 149 for 2 hours, right? So that's how much battery. You've got about 300 watts in here in the box. If you do 100 watts, that's going to last you 3 hours, right? That's the way that works. So when you're trying to calculate what you can run, what this can get you is figure 299 watts for an hour or some division of that, right? The math isn't too bad when you look at it. So 400 watts max fast charge. It's a LiPo, has a LiPo battery in it. So LiPo battery with 3,500 charge cycles to 80%. It says 10 outputs for charging devices simultaneously. It has your wireless charger on top. If you have an electronic device that's capable of wireless charging, you've got your 12 volt in the front. You have 220 volt outlets. You have your USB-C and your USB-A. So you can plug your USB devices directly in the front, and of course it's got a light, right? If you're working it at night or something, little light could be super helpful. You always want to have lights. So smart control and monitor in ALLPOWERS app. Be honest, I haven't tried the app yet. Just kind of got this out and started playing with it, but the app sounds pretty cool. 300 watt max solar input. So they sent me this bundle, and I'll get you a link to it. It comes with a 100 watt flexible solar panel, and I've got a bunch of 100 watt panels all over the place. This is my first flexible panel, and I'm impressed not only by the fact that it's lightweight, it's super thin, it looks like the same connectors I'm used to working with on solar. Now it's not flexible in the sense that you can like roll it up and put it in your backpack, but if you're outdoors, if you're in your vehicle, if you're camping, I could see taking it with you. The flexibility is going to give a little forgiveness, right, in terms of how you pack it, how you transport it. I could see really easily mounting it to the top of a vehicle, something like that. The flexible panel is nice. The rigid panels always feel like they'd break very easy. This feels like good construction. So that's a 100 watt panel. It says 300 watt max input. So theoretically you could chain together a couple panels, right? It was what I'm taking out of that. If it can take 300 watts, this is 100 watt. If you really want to charge it up super quick, you could chain up a couple panels. But if you've got 100 watts coming in, and it holds 299 watts, that means you're going to charge it in 3 hours. And generally, when you're doing solar, you think about 4 hours of good sunlight a day is sort of the general math. Obviously depends on the weather, depends on where you're at, but even if you drain it out, use it all up, you're going to still charge it in a day. So if you got the panel with you, you have the emergency power with you, you're going to be able to use it, right? It's not like you're going to take 3 days to charge it. I see some of the bigger units other people sell, and you do the math, you're like, dude, that's going to take a week to charge, right? This is portable, it's ready to go. It does come with a wall charger, which is how I charged it up initially, because we've been raining. It wasn't practical to set up the panel outside. I didn't want to get everything soaked. But it seems very practical to charge this off of solar. And for some reason, we've been watching that show Fallout. Not saying this is affiliated in any way, but this feels like something out of the show Fallout for some reason. I'm not sure why. Vault product. It's not. Easy to carry, fast charging, safe and reliable. So I'm loving it, right? So we'll get into it. Let's talk about what you get. You know, we talk about a lot of videos where I've talked about things like grid down. A couple years ago, I'm out in Texas. We had a power outage out for days. Some people are out for a week. And it isn't, I think, until you're in a power outage and there's no power going into your house that you start thinking about, wait a minute, I'm pretty dependent, right? I'm pretty dependent on power. What are we going to do now? There's no power. So there's a lot you can do with it. It has some limitations, right? You have 300 watts, 299 watts to work with. 600 watt inverter spikes to 1200 watts. So it means you can really want that. You can run anything that takes 600 watts continuous or less. If it spikes up a little bit, it can, but generally with these type of devices, you don't want to over spike, right? So if it is a power outage, if it is a blackout, the first thing you might want when the power goes out is a light. And this is just kind of a little cool old school, you call it a desk lamp, that's what I would call it. So when you're operating the unit here, if we want to turn on this bank, hit the button. Oh, just once, bank turns on. So that's going to activate these outlets. Then I can go ahead and plug it in. And there you go. Super simple, right? I mean, you've got power, you've got light. You need light, you get around the house, old lamp, something like that. Obviously not the extent of the capabilities, but you may want a little light. So we've got that there. We can kind of keep this going as we're going in. Now a standard light bulb like that is probably going to use, it says 9 watts. So 9 watts. If this has 300 watts or 299 watts, it could run this little lamp for a long time, right? We're not really taxing the capabilities of the unit here running this little lamp. So in addition to, say, power outage at the house, we got a couple other items you might want to run here. What about flashlights? What about your weather radio? Now this one can run off USB or the 18650 batteries. So if you have the 18650 batteries, which I do, and I've got a lot of things that run on the 18650 batteries. Let's say the power outage is longer than a few days, longer than a few hours. You're going long term here. This unit can keep your batteries charged, right? Your 18650 batteries, you can charge them up. You can use them in your weather radio, which incidentally does have its own solar and hand crank, but it sure is nice just to drop a charged battery in there so you're not cranking away at it, right? And other flashlights. Flashlights are great whether you're at home, grid down, or maybe you're just camping. You might want a couple flashlights here. This one's green, so this is a hunting flashlight. This would be more of a traditional flashlight, but all these depend upon batteries. These run in the 18650s, which I have charging here. But the next step here would be just regular batteries, right? You might want to charge some regular batteries, keep a couple of other things going. This just runs on the regular AA. Right, just regular AA batteries. This will keep your batteries charged. So you plug this in during the day to the solar panel, and then when it's not charging, you bring it back in and you can charge your other batteries that you need for your flashlights, for your radio, for your lanterns, for any kind of lights. And it's not just lights and batteries, but I want to give that as an example, right? Once again, this, we could be heading into, say, there's the easy, obvious, which is that we're in Texas, we've had grid downs, power goes down, you want to just plug it in, you want to turn on a light, You want to do some basic stuff. You want to keep your weather radio going. Maybe you've got your cell phone you want to plug in, right? You got to charge your cell phone. This has got USB, so you can charge your cell phone right off the front. Keep your Kindle going so you can read your books. Once again, it'll plug in right off the front. If you got camera equipment, you might want to charge your camera equipment. These batteries right here. If you're familiar with the GoPro, those are the GoPro batteries, so this should light up here. So I turn on the bank. Keep the batteries for your camera going. All right, so camera equipment, let's get camping, hunting, any kind of outdoors, beyond just sitting at home in the dark in the grid down, you could take it with you. It's light enough you can throw it in the car, whether you're off-roading, anything like that. It's nice to have power, right? It's nice to have power with you. Power gives you power. I'm charging my phone batteries, charging my flashlight batteries. I got my lamp going. I could swap out the lamp, go back in the dark, start charging my AA's, charging my AAA's. Let's see what it thinks now. The lamp was using all the power. Rest of this stuff not so much, so this isn't even registering, because this, just charging a small battery like this isn't even registering on output. It's not going to take a lot of juice. Same thing with the GoPro batteries, charging these batteries. So I've got 3 sets of batteries charging right now. It's not even registering output because they don't take a lot of juice, right? So that's kind of the cool part about having something like this, especially long-term grid down or anything like that. I said you put it out, maybe somewhere sneaky, depending on what's going on. You keep this charged up, you can keep the rest of your batteries charged. One side could be hunting, right? If you're into hunting, which some people like to hunt, you might have a night vision scope, right? So this is an external battery pack off a night vision scope, got the ATN on it here. You might need to keep that charged up unless you can afford the analog night vision scope. This is just a digital night vision scope, external battery. Keep it charged up, right? Keep your scope running. It's not going to do you a lot of good if your scope doesn't have battery, and at that point hopefully you got a backup scope. But also same thing, infrared flashlight, right? You might need an infrared flashlight to go with your night vision scope. This runs on the 18650 battery that I already have charging, but I can plug this guy in, keep my night vision scope on full charge for that night. Plug this guy in here. Let's get the night vision scope going. See if we can get this to register. And this one looks like a little USB-C. Keep that going here. Once again, if you're hunting, you might be doing some night hunting. Get your night vision scope, get your infrared flashlight, keep everything charged up there. We're not even putting a load on it, and that's cool. Another side, of course, could be something useful, is comms. You want to keep your comms running, right? Communicate with your group. Hopefully you have a group to communicate so you can keep your radios charged up, right? Plug in the radios. This will go 12 volt if we want. This will go 120 volt, or these will go USB. So they're actually super flexible that way, and this can also do any of those 3. So you've got a lot of options there, different ways to charge it. But something like this keeps your batteries charged, keeps your radio charged. You got your weather radio charged. I've got my night vision scope charging, so we're charging up a lot of stuff. And I could probably plug the Kindle in as well, get that charging. So in terms of appliances, you're like, this is all great, mostly just charging up regular stuff. So if it is, let's say it is a grid down or some kind of long-term event, something you're absolutely going to want that's going to give you that edge is something like this, right? If you do any kind of handy, if you're handy at all, you recognize this. It's just a battery off a DeWalt, 5 amp hour battery off a DeWalt. If you can charge these and keep your power tools going, you can build just about anything. I'm not going to say anything. Clearly you're not building some stuff, but there you go. I'm charging that jumped it up. That means got my 47 watts on that. These charge pretty quick though, so half hour to charge this up. This will still be running fine. So if you keep your batteries going, you've got your power tools, chainsaw, flashlights, drills, reciprocating saw, whatever it is, this guy can keep you working, right? Keep you working, keep you reading, keeping you entertained with your Kindle, your flashlights, your night vision scope, your infrared, and your radio, right? So just some thoughts of what you can do with even a small unit, right? I love the unit, and I said I'm glad they sent it over. I'm happy to get a chance to plug some stuff in, to play with it a little bit. It's absolutely going to be part of my preps. And I will say, if you've watched my videos before, I've been very much do it yourself, you know, build your own. And I still have, and I probably still will build more. I'm going to build on my solar, but after seeing how easy this is, said the weight is totally reasonable. I think it looks cool. The color looks good. The symbol on it and the panel. The panel, I said, there's a lot to like about this unit. So I want to give you some ideas, not just show it to you, but kind of talk through what can you do with this, right? I think there's a lot. I think just something, even a small basic unit like this, it's not huge. You're not gonna, you know, there's a lot of things you're not gonna do with it, but all the stuff you can do with it, it's gonna make a huge difference, right? It's really gonna improve your situation if you're in a situation where the power to your house isn't coming into your house anymore. So I hope that helps out. As always, thank you for watching, and we appreciate you.